Hi, welcome to Laughing Spices. Hi, Bells. We are going to make some Stacy Sims salty balls with some puggy hair in them. No. All right, Stacy Sims developed this recipe. It was back in her original book, Roar, that I read probably 5 years ago. They're a great protein snacky option, kind of like a protein bar, but better in my opinion. Very customizable. I've adapted the recipe a million times, and I would say they're pretty far from what she originally developed, but I want to give her a shout out because that's really how I came up with this. I don't like the name salty balls. That's kind of rubs me the wrong way, but I call them protein balls. So don't laugh. This filming today is not my tripod. It is my husband, Tom, is filming. And thank you for filming today, honey.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Also, if something rubs me the wrong way, I get salty balls.
So bad. I saw you couldn't help yourself. All right, so I wanted to wait to get the ingredients out so I could show you all. My secret, Tom, you will even say this is the case. The last 2 times I've made them, they've been even better. I added one Justin's almond butter packet, and I think that just added a little more creaminess. My other secret weapon is some gelatin, which hopefully I have enough. We might have to skimp on the gelatin, but really it freezes really well, so they're a little chewier, and I like to freeze them. I just find the texture really nice. We need cacao, non-sweet cacao powder, sprouted oats, vanilla protein powder. I like to use the simple version of Orgain organic protein powder. They have peanut butter, chocolate, and vanilla. This is the vanilla variant. I don't like stevia, so I like the simple version, but the all their stuff's pretty good if you don't mind stevia. Then, this is not labeled, but Bob's Red Mill coconut, unsweetened coconut. Real maple syrup, PB Fit powder, God's gift to man, little coconut water. I am going to list both Stacy Sims' original recipe and mine in the comments or in the description. Still getting the YouTube lingo down, but I will say I use the kitchen scale. I've told you this in my previous video, my tofu video. I prefer it to measuring cups and the like. I think it's a little more accurate and there's way less cleanup. So huge fan. If you haven't gotten a kitchen scale, highly recommend it. However, I am going to try to give you guys rough measurements too, because then if you don't have one, you can still kind of get what I'm saying, and I will put it in the description. So even if I can't get it here, I'll try to do my best to put it in there. So the nice thing with this recipe too, it's not exact or anything like that. You just get to throw everything in. There's no order that it needs to go in. So we will just go right along. All right, to start, 93 grams of protein powder. Let's see how much that is. I'll put it in 27. So it's about a cup, I'd say. I'm making a double batch too. You'll see when in Stacy Sims' recipe, she recommends about half of what I'm making, but I'd rather make 28 balls instead of 14. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love this protein powder. It has like 6 ingredients in it, so it's nice and simple. All right, then I just did 12 grams. You can make these really chocolatey. I've done it before. They're delicious. This particular batch that I've made, I have just been doing it with just a little hint of chocolate. I think oftentimes I kind of like this one after dinner as a little dessert sometimes, and chocolate kind of revs me up. So it's just been doing a bit, but the nice thing about this recipe is it's very adaptable and you get to decide how chocolatey you want to make it. So it's just over 2 tablespoons is what I'm putting in there. If you were doing it at home and you didn't have a scale, I'd say you could do 2 tablespoons and a teaspoon would be probably good. The only thing that you really have to be careful about with this is just not to make them too dry or too runny. So you can add a little more of something if you need to, add a little less, but there's no science. It's not a baking recipe, so you don't have to worry about, getting the calculation right in that regard. All right, then we've got 243 grams of maple syrup. Let's see. I don't know. What's your bet, Tom? How many grams do you think is that going to be in a cups?
I have no idea.
243. My guess, ooh.
2/3 of a cup.
2/3. Yeah, I was thinking something like that. I bet that's a good guess. I was going to guess 3/4. So 1/4 cup is 69 grams. It's 1/4 30. I think it's going to be about a cup. Maybe, no wonder they're so good. All right, 24 grams of bovine. Let's see if hopefully I have enough. Guys may know from my previous stuff, I'm not eating much red meat, but little things like this I don't really worry about. Just like gelatin. So this is certainly not a vegan recipe. You can though, if you are vegan, that's, all right, that's 1 tablespoon. That's 2. It is about 2 tablespoons, just like the cacao. It's just a little over, so it's 23, 24 grams. So I'd say about maybe 1.5 or 2.5 tablespoons of bovine. I don't know where, I've really perfected this recipe. It's very exact. So none of the measurements are very easy to remember. But if you are vegan and you wanted to make something similar, I think you could use like, cassava root might create a similar binding, and maybe like fruit pectin, I've heard, but I have not tried that. So don't hold me to it. All right, then 3.7 ounces. Now you can measure this. A scale does ounces. It's not going to be exact because it's not measuring volume, it's measuring weight, but I have found that to be pretty dang close, so I don't really worry about it. But I think that would be around a 1/4 cup. If I didn't feel so confident about this particular ratio, I wouldn't be careful to make sure it's exact. Okay, then we are getting there. We got our PB Fit. God's gift to man. This seems like it's an ad because it's the only thing not in a plastic container, but it is not. If PB Fit sponsored me, Milton, then we'd be in the big times. Get a shot of his face. He's so sweet. He wants to help. He needs the help. He needs the help. Do you want to get sponsored by PB Fit? You could do it. He's so sweet. All right. You boys are being so well behaved. No barking. It's getting close to their dinner time. All right, 74 grams. I think a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons is 16 grams. A little quick math. 74 divided by 16. Right. So yeah, so it's about 4 servings, I think. Yeah. So let's see what 1/3 of a cup is in grams. We're looking for 74 grams. So yeah, about 2/3 of a cup. Looking at about 2/3 of a cup, boys. All 3 of my boys in the house. We got Billy in the house. We got Middish in the house. Oh, it's exact, 74 grams. Awesome. 64 grams of oats. I think that's about just over 1/2 a cup. So let's try that out. Do one about, this is 1/3 of a cup. I think it'd be about 1/2 a cup. Let's try. About 1, for all of you non-math heads out there, about 1.5, 1/3 cups is about 1/2 a cup. I only know that because I've done baking math. Okay. All right. Last 2 things. We got our coconut and we have our 1 packet Justin's almond butter. And this you could have fun with. You could add different types, but it's about a serving. This is 32 grams, so it's nothing, I don't need to measure it because we're just doing the whole packet. But yeah, so if you were just using a nut butter at home, you would just want to use 2 tablespoons, basically. That's what most nut butters, 28 grams, 32 grams is going to be 2 tablespoons. That's what most servings of almond butter, peanut butter, things like that will be. You looked like you wanted to tell me something, Tom. No. The only thing I don't love about the peanut butter packets is you just don't get everything out. Like, Tom.
Roll them from the base.
Yeah, you're probably right. Because, like, you had a ton of these when we were hiking last weekend. Yeah. And you just go like this.
Roll it up like a toothpaste.
Oh, nice. Okay. I should have done it better from the start then. Milton thinks he's going to get the wrapper from it. And he said, you don't have to clean it out too good. It's fine. I'll get it. Well, yeah, I guess you don't have a mic, so I won't make you talk too much. But Thomas and I did a half marathon, the Bozeman half marathon this morning. And he killed it. He did it well under 2 hours. I did not. But I mean, for the, you know, at least for the next year, I can play the cancer card for athletic endeavors, you know.
Exactly.
I think that's fair. Once a year from now, it's like, all right, you know, but all right, that's pretty good. I think I did pretty good. And last thing, we just need 37 grams of coconut. I have no idea how much that would be. So I think actually it's probably around 3 tablespoons is my guess. And how many tablespoons is an eighth of a cup, Thomas?
1.
2, because there's 16 tablespoons in a cup. But I'll put it in the, I'll remeasure it and put it in the description as to how many tablespoons of coconut I would add. The nice thing with the coconut too is that you do not have to be exact because it kind of depends how textured you want it. You can add coconut, you could add, I've added pumpkin seeds to it. You could add all kinds of things. So does not need to be exact. Not that any of it does, but especially the coconut. So now we can get a shot of the inside of this. The only other thing I'm going to add is a little bit of salt. And then, let me get that. Here we go. So I'll just a sprinkle of sea salt. It really brings out nice, counterbalances all that sweetness. And they're great for exercise. So you want to get those, that saltiness. And I guess that is what Stacy Sims calls them, right? Salty balls. Now I could make as many as I want from this. I've been, for the size of them, I've been doing them around an ounce or just under. I'll make 28 of these at 24 grams a piece. That'll be about right. That is another reason I really love the scale when I'm making meatballs or anything where you, like a burger patty, anything that you kind of want to create even amounts of. It is really nice. That was something I turned my mom on to because we were making chicken and dumplings and she was like, I feel like I want to get them all even. And I was like, well, put it on the scale, make them all an ounce. And she loves that idea now. So if you're anything like my mom, you might too. Put this on the tripod for this part because I'm just going to stir it.
Mama didn't raise no bitch.
She didn't? Okay. How sick do you think the boys would get if I just let them eat all of this?
Very sick.
How sick would you get if I let you eat all of this?
I mean, I don't think I'd get sick. I think I'd feel pretty bad though.
Well, you ran a half marathon today, less sick than like the average day probably because you burn enough calories. All right, so I think this should, I can't remember. I might have added a dash of water last time, but I typically, when it gets to this point, this is why I didn't have my wedding ring on today, honey. Don't be worried. It's because I knew I was making these on the channel. And they're non-bake too, which is so nice. I just will usually line.
A little dry to me.
A little dry, you think? I might need a little more, but I don't know. I think this was exactly how I made them. Were they too dry last time you ate them?
No, they're perfect.
I think this is what I did, hon. But, because you don't want them too soggy because then they fall apart.
Well, did you see the guy with the sign at the half marathon today that said, due to inflation, a half marathon is now 6.7 miles?
No, that's hilarious. I love that. I was a little offended. It was like, I saw a bunch of signs that said hot girls run fast. And I was like, well, what about ones that run like moderately slow? It's like, that's kind of offensive, you know? I'm a big believer in small changes when it comes to detoxifying your life. Jeez. And one thing at a time, Rome wasn't built in a day. Crunchy kitchens weren't built in a day. So try to do one little thing at a time. And one thing I've done recently is try to switch to parchment over foil for everything that I can. All right, then we will roll them. This is usually very meditative for me. I like to just get into the zone and just roll them like this. Now you can eat them. Thomas is welcome to now. I prefer them a lot colder personally, but that's about the size I like. That's 24. I'd say if you're doing a scale, around an ounce is a pretty good size, but you can make them bigger, smaller, whatever you want. So we'll make 28-ish of them. 24. Tom found it necessary, and I agree, to do a little side note, a little detour as to why I like using PB Fit powder for this recipe and in general. PB Fit powder is amazing. You get to decide how thick it is. You can add it to smoothies. You can add it to whatever. You can just eat it like you would normal peanut butter, but it has a higher amount of protein than regular peanut butter per like gram, basically. So you're dealing with lower calories per the amount of peanut butter you're getting, but you're also getting more protein, which I like, especially when you're dealing with like exercise food. Too much fat for most people just doesn't digest well. So if you say are going to go on a run, or a lot of times will grab one of these before I hit the gym, it's nicer to have something that's higher protein and it has a little bit of sweetness. I think they use coconut sugar. Yes, some coconut sugar, which is very low glycemic. It keeps your blood sugar nice and steady. So I'm a big fan. Although if you do make this recipe, you would have to add more moisture, like in a coconut water, than you would if you just used regular peanut butter. So